Lika na.
Game. How do you travel with a baby?
Why, with a yaya?
Very different experiences.
We haven't traveled kasi out of the Philippines.
Yes. May list ka ba? Or kung
Meron
may
kaming
list ka. Ako rin, may list ako.
Ikaw talaga may list. Very organized kasi siya. Ako hindi.
Naka-spreadsheet yung sa akin.
I'm a messy mom in a messy world. Wala pang 2 months old when we did our first trip to Batangas, to the farm at San Benito, and I was like, we brought everything. Brought a bath, a diaper changing,
Sterilizer.
We
No.
did not bring.
You just boiled.
Oh, we just boiled.
Ako rin, I've done that. Just
We've
boiled
never
water
traveled
for
with a sterilizer, actually. I'm very lucky because the nanays in our home, they've all had kids. So, alam mo yun, parang ako, makikinig din ako. I don't have to bring everything kasi it was hard din to pack everything na. All the necessities lang.
Only the necessities.
Only. Ayaya. Ulit-ulit. It really helps. I don't
Why
know.
not? If you have access to a
Yeah.
yaya, diba?
But it's also, because to your point, you
nanny.
even said that, a nanny. I would love to actually try and travel without a nanny. I think I can.
You can. With how hands-on you are,
yeah.
you can.
The essentials are necessary, and that's something that you will just have to figure out through time. Kasi parang it's a lot of trial and error.
Ako naman, well, we've traveled within Australia, but we've also taken our first international flight. So I guess I'll start with packing. I really had to write down a list. Talagang naka-spreadsheet, like all the practical things that we need to bring with us for the flight, things that we needed to have waiting for us when we arrive. So Iza super helped with that. So because we were here in the Philippines for such a long time, a pack and play or like a foldable bed was not enough for Sadie because I really wanted her to like get good sleep. Iza was able to get me a crib from Stocka and a high chair. So
thank you.
wherever you're gonna be, make sure that you have a comfortable bed and a high chair wherever you're staying for your baby. Otherwise, you're gonna have to hold your baby for 6 months and above while they're eating. I borrowed a car seat. I borrowed a sterilizer.
Thanks again for the car seat.
Yeah, I borrowed an Eco Mom sterilizer from the Parenting Emporium.
Oh, that's Marissa!
Yeah. I also borrowed
amazing.
books and toys from friends. I said, like, can you just give me something that I can use? Because I, didn't have enough suitcase space to bring a lot of stuff. Iza organized a playpen for Sadie so that, we could leave her in a space. Oh, and then before I arrived, so like yung laundry detergent, yung bottle washer, ganyan, I made a list on Edamama and ordered from the app. Yeah. So I made sure that like by the time we arrived, everything was there na. So yun, nakalistahan yun lahat. In terms of like where to stay, if you have the luxury of staying with your family in the Philippines that have a big house and lots of space, like, yes, definitely stay there and save money. But if you are the kind of family that needs your own space to feel relaxed, I actually prefer staying in a service apartment over a hotel just because of the amenities available. So we're in Somerset right now in Calzado, which is so convenient because it's around the corner from them. So we take Sadie to her place when it's time to play and eat. This is for anywhere in the world. I think look for a service apartment that has everything in the kitchen that you'll need to survive with a baby instead of a hotel. In the Lynn, which was beautiful, we were missing a kitchen, I think.
Yeah. Well, ako, ano gagawin ko sa kitchen?
Ako kasi, we need a kitchen.
That's something I really want to learn more of, to do. Actually, kaya naman. It's more of like, I want to enjoy it and be like, oh, I want to cook for Dia. I don't know if it'll ever
Wow.
Wow.
Ako parang, I have to cook for Sadie again today.
Iba kasi, because you have to do it every day.
I have to do it every day. No, I don't have to cook every day.
It becomes a chore when it's like that. But when it's, of course, I have the privilege and luxury of it not being a chore for me because I have a village here. It's like something I can choose to do rather a need to do. But it's something also, it's a want for me also. Alamin mo kung ano yung realities nyo as a family. Maybe you don't need as many rooms.
Yeah.
So Bianca, Ralph, and Sadie, you're used to having Sadie sleep in another room, di ba? So I think that's why you needed more space. Hindi dahil maarte kayo sa space or whatever. It's more of ano yung routine ninyo sa bahay.
Routine, replicate your routine. I think there, as close to home as possible, replicate your routine because if you're changing it up too much, that really disrupts everyone's sleep, which we experienced because we did sleep in the same room as Sadie for over a week, and like it drove everyone nuts. She was not sleeping through the night. No. For the plane, just make sure you have enough food, snacks, toys, and books that fit into one like big
container
duffel bag. That's all for your baby. And
entertainment section. Take off landing, lalo na take off, either on the breast or feeding.
Bottle,
Basta
yeah.
they have to be sucking on something para yung pressure hindi maramdaman sa ears nila.
Yeah, Sadie was actually good on the flight coming here from Australia and going to Boracay also. We had both a carrier and a pram as well, so
Kami
that
carrier lang. Kasi beach yung pupuntahan namin.
kami for the international flight, we had both. We have a foldable stroller that fits into the overhead compartment, and we also had a carrier so that when it's the only way that Sadie wanted to sleep, she can sleep on me. Ito, yung yaya nga pala. Ito pa. Okay, so if you are a Filipino returning to the Philippines, if you have friends and family that have nannies that they can lend to you to make your trip a bit more relaxing, definitely accept that or ask for the help, because it doesn't really feel like a vacation if you're still doing everything. Of course, that's kind of like a special thing for us Filipinos who are coming back home, diba? And thankfully, si Dea, marami siyang support, who all supported Sadie as well. And
Manang Bell also.
yes, definitely.
So shout out na lang kay Camille, kay Lorne,
kay
Bea, kay Donna,
the
kay
village that
Yes.
made it relaxing. At the same time, it's also nice to travel na kayong family lang, kasi you also like, you know, just the privacy and the bonding where there's nobody around. Which brings us to our last question. This is the question that came up the most. Lots of women are asking me about sleep training. I don't know, is it because I've posted quite a bit about it, or is it because it's really a hot topic amongst moms? I think sleep deprivation can really rock your world and make parenting miserable. So I think a lot of them are fussed about sleep. Like, how do you get your baby to sleep longer?
Yes.
Or what can you do so that your family can just get more sleep? The answer to that for some parents is sleep training. Very briefly, there are many different methods to sleep train a baby. It's not just you leave your baby in the room, you close the door, and they cry it out until they fall asleep. No, that is not what it is. There are different techniques, like more gentle and more straightforward type of sleep training. Most of it, if not all, they're steers talaga. Because once you change something in a baby's routine, like all their lives since they've been born, they've been held every single sleep. But then you start to set them down on their bed. They're not gonna like that. It just means you are transitioning to the next phase of sleep, which everyone in the family will have to make an adjustment, and there's really a learning curve. So for me and a lot of parents in Australia and the US and Canada, all over the world, who does not have the support of holding the baby to sleep every single time, we really have to teach our babies to love the safe sleep space that they're in, and to be calm around bedtime, and hopefully, put themselves to sleep. It's possible. All the parents that I have spoken to who have sleep trained their babies, sometime between 5.5 to 8 months, swear by it. They swear how difficult it is, how heartbreaking it is, mentally and emotionally exhausting it is for the parents, especially the one who's being hands-on during the training, but the results that you get from it, the saving grace for everyone's mental health, to be able to just have this calm bedtime routine where everything is the same. You have blackout, you have faint white noise in the background. Everyone knows what to expect. You're basically creating a safe environment and routine for your baby around bedtime, wherein they're not dreading it. You're both not dreading, you're both relaxed, and you're helping your baby wind down. So much that once they hear all these cues, you can just put your baby down wide awake, and then you just quietly close the door and you watch them on the monitor and they fall asleep. Having that has really made parenting life-changing and so much happier and relaxed for me. We would go inside the room and comfort her, but sometimes she'd get more upset. She gets more upset.
Na nandun kayo.
Oo.
Kaya huwag niyo akong pakialaman.
Yeah, yung parang the crying would escalate again. So, I would just have to put my hand on her and then leave the room.
Question lang.
Yes.
Would you think that she was crying more because she knew that you were there, and because when you were there, you should be holding me? Why are you here and not holding me? Could you think that it's also possible?
I think so. It's you're there. Why don't you carry me? Pick me up.
I can sense you. Kasi diba, babies have super spidey sense talaga eh.
Yes.
Hearing, lahat, smell.
This is why we can't sleep with her in the same room anymore.
It's hard.
But that was only a phase for her as well. Right now that she's much older, when she is like, in the rare occasion that she wakes up in the middle of the night crying and she can't put herself back to sleep and it's been longer than 10 to 15 minutes, we really give it time. You observe your baby and see. Maybe it's just like, they're making a noise in their dream and that woke them up, and Sadie sucks her thumb and she just rolls over and she can go back to sleep. But if it's longer na than 10 or 15 minutes and I come in and sometimes I just put my hand on her, Mama's here. And then I can leave the room now when she's calm. Sometimes I just pick her up to stop the crying just for a few minutes and I put her down again and she's still awake. But there are also times when she really just wants me to stay there. The sleep training foundation is still there. It's not put in where you have to hold your baby and go shh, 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 and sway them. It's nice also pag kailangan, pero pag pagod ka na, pag mabigat na yung baby mo, pag kailangan mo nang matulog.
Tsaka nasasabi kong nice kasi meron akong katandem.
It's not nice pag ikaw lang every night, all night. For my unique baby and my family and our values, I'm not also saying it's right. It's the only way to put your baby down to sleep. It's just that for us,
you had to.
What triggered it pala, I must say, what triggered it is that Sadie was waking up every 30 to 60 minutes overnight when she was 5 months old. That is, she could already sleep 4 hours, ganyan, 5 hours. But then a sleep regression happened. That's where I was like, all right, who are your sleep coaches? Tell me who they are. And then I spoke to them, and then in the first night, we already saw results. She slept 6 hours straight. I just want to say also, you will find conflicting information about it and what it actually does for babies. I acknowledge that those cases may exist, but Sadie, the way she is right now, she's a very happy, easy, friendly baby. We will never know if the way our children are is a result of sleep training. So actually, make the best decision for your family at the time. Anyway, your thoughts against sleep training?
Hirap, no? Kasi magkaiba kami ng opinion. Actually, in the beginning, you didn't have this opinion. I remember because you were having a hard time, you had to do the sleep training. And of course, we have to stick to what is best for us.
Yeah.
And you have to make that decision for your family. So, syempre, totally acknowledge that. When Ben and I talk about it, sabi ko, if we were in their case, we would sleep train as well. Probably. I'll start off with a very, very, I guess, simple ideology that a friend of mine and her husband said. When a baby monkey cries, the mother automatically picks up a baby. It does not assess if it's a distress cry or whatever. The baby is in some sort of pain or danger or whatever, picks up the baby. It's a very primal, instinctive reaction, diba, that you do. Of course, we are more evolved than monkeys. When I heard that, tumatak kasi sa akin yun. It's just something that I realized, okay, my baby needs me, I will be there for my baby. There's information online that says that what happens when the baby cries and you do not pick up the baby, especially when you leave the baby alone for a very long time, is that the baby does not learn to self-soothe. Rather, the baby learns to suppress their emotion. That's what the information says. And to me, that makes sense kasi because I have the support of my village, I am in a position where I was able to say, you know what, I'll choose not to sleep train. But mind you, I considered it. I considered it so many times because I actually want to sleep next to Dea, which of course would probably still not happen if she's sleep trained because the minute she smells me, gigising siguro yan or something. But I wanted to sleep with Dea beside me through the night. As in, yung matutulog kami together. Yun yung dream ko.
Dream ko din yun, which I think will happen when they're a little bit older. Because they're so nice to cuddle, diba?
Yung talagang...
Can you just sit still, you just lay still so I can hug you?
Yung ganun talagang pangarap ko. Sabi ko talaga, gusto ko. So for me, it's just a decision I made. You are living the Western lifestyle and there's no support, no village even. Kahit like, kayo, wala kayong kamag-anak man lang. I understand where that's coming from. It's just that I have the luxury and the privilege of having a night nurse or a yaya.
Hi, baby!
Hi, strawberry shortcake.
Hi! Hi!
Ayan, diba? She's quite easy, I feel, to handle. So, yun lang ang swerte talaga. So, I can choose not to sleep train. So, now we have the two happy and healthy babies with the two happy and healthy mamas. We hope that we got to answer your questions and share a bit about, actually a lot about our unique journeys. We will all have our own unique child or children and journeys. So let's all just support one another, be kind, less judgment, more support and love. Look at yourself with a lot of compassion. So there it is.
Have compassion for yourself and for your partner also.
Yeah.
And for your baby, of course. And there is no right or wrong to anything. Only what feels right to you at that moment. And in long term, it doesn't... If you change your mind about what's right, that's okay.
Also okay.
Also okay.
There is also just what is best for you in that present moment. So again, that may evolve and change. So until the next phase. Woohoo!
Say bye-bye!
Bye-bye! Beso bulaw!
Meron ka ba ng beso? Beso.
Soon.
Ganun lang kaya niya. Fish lips.
Bye-bye! Yay! Bye-bye! Clap, clap,
Proud
clap!
of Mama and Tita Iza. Yay!
Yeah.
Kiss, Tita Iza.
Akin na to. Dalawa ng baby ko. Bye!
Anak ko yan! Akin, balik mo ang anak ko!
Anak ko?
Ibalik mo ang anak ko!
You can better answer this because we weren't trying.
Yeah.
So there's the answer. Don't try. I wasn't trying. I was actually bargaining to extend and say like, I'll do it at 42. Oh, I'm healthy, I'm ganito. I had the Darna body. So I was at my leanest. So I was thinking, I'll maximize muna kasi taon ko na wanting to get to that body. I know it sounds selfish and it truly was.
It's a lot of work to get to your ideal body.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even like, I was just like, I just happened to get this body and I had so many projects. Was going to be working with some people I'd only dreamt of working with. And then I was scared, to be honest. I was scared of motherhood and the idea of having a baby and the responsibility and all these things. And then it happened. When people
Try and try,
and it becomes a project, diba? It
Yes.
becomes something. And of course, when you try kasi, then you're fail if you don't get it. So I kind of understand why there can become a cycle there.
Oh yeah.
Like
It's like a 2-week emotional roller coaster of like, you know, you have your fertile window and then you try and you try and you try. And then after that, you take a pregnancy test and it's a negative. And then you wait again 2 weeks for your fertile week. It's just like a hamster wheel that it keeps going and going. And like your emotions get excited and then they drop down. And then, yeah, at some point after a few months, you're like, can't take this anymore.
After a few months pa lang.
After a few months, yeah, because if you're really trying hard, like if you're really like watching the clock on it,
And I'm sure
and
you
the calendar on it, yeah, watching the clock and the calendar on it, yeah.
It's not just in conceiving, no? Even in motherhood, the birth, parenthood, it's really a lot of surrender. It's being mindful of your lifestyle. Why you have to cut out alcohol? Some people have to
Smoking. You have to cut out smoking.
gluten for some women even.
Can you give advice on how to be a healthy mom while having months of sleepless nights? Ako ba yan? Feeling ko nga ikaw yan kasi I didn't really take care of myself very well. In the early days and weeks of postpartum, I really let myself go, and like the priority was just breastfeeding. We didn't have a routine early on. We weren't eating very well. I really wasn't sleeping. Mental breakdowns over my birth. I didn't take care of myself very well. I think it was only later on where a friend of ours in Australia told us about sleep training and saying that she sleep trained their baby. So we ended up doing that as well, and that's when I started getting sleep again. And at the same time, I guess in relation to nutrition and everything, because like I said, in the early days, I wasn't eating properly. It's like I just wanted to eat anything. When my milk dipped, that's when we started working with a lactation consultant. That's when Ralph and I realized, like, okay, I really need to be eating food that's for the baby.
Nourishes
Yeah,
the baby.
yeah.
The mama and the baby.
That's when Ralph started cooking more and like buying me bone broth and things like that.
I chose to give birth in the Philippines because I knew I needed the support of everybody around me to do all these things for me, because I wasn't sure what it was gonna be like. And gosh,
I had no idea what it was
Diba?
gonna be like. Nobody briefed me.
It's brutal. Parang you feel like you get hit by a truck. I don't know. Hindi mo alam.
Ikaw nga, dami mong kasama, ka pa rin.
Exactly. But even with that, kasi parang, and you know, for me, the hardest thing was mentally wrapping my head around the fact that I really can't breastfeed my child, na it's not something I'll talk about today. I was dealing with that. Lalabas ako ng kwarto kasi habang binobottle feed siya ng ibang tao, kasi daw, the mother should not be in the room with the baby. At some point, I was like, this is enough. I have to be the one feeding my child. Whether it's from a bottle, it's from a whatever. I tried SNS, all these things, you know.
SNS is supplemental nursing system, which is a bottle you hang around your neck with very fine tubes that you tape to your breast and your nipple. Supplemental, like, milk, either express breast milk, donor milk, or formula milk to your baby, which you did for how long?
Me, a month.
I did for 2 months.
Yeah. The journey of motherhood, in my opinion, is a lot of decisions you will have to make for yourself, for your child, for your family, that are very unique to your setting, or to your circumstances.
To your values and to your unique baby. Iba-iba.
And circumstances in life.
Or what is accessible to you. Therefore, we have to embrace it and, not be resentful of our situation, which is kind of how I felt, because I know people back home nga, who have all this help, and I had to go through postpartum mostly by myself. I didn't know how much help I actually needed. I have friends with kids, but like no one really sat me down and looked me in the eye and told me this is what it's going to be like.
Yung favorite kong pabango, hindi pala paraben free. Naghanap talaga ako ng bago. Pero okay lang.
Ako hindi ako nagpabango.
Oh, hindi ka naman mahilig.
Di nga ako nag-deodorant. No, actually, I wore deodorant a few times.
Deodorant ko kasi is parang tawas eh. From tawas, di ba? Glorified tawas. Yung, alam mo, sabi ko, dapat bumili akong tawas, tas hasain ko.
I had a hard time sleeping when I was pregnant. The kicks would wake me up, and then there's a thing called lightning crotch.
Yeah, you experienced a lot of that.
Where there's a sharp pain in your cervix that would wake me up, and then having to go to the bathroom so frequently.
Yes.
Luckily, where we live now, and now I super appreciate it, during the week, there's like a sensory play group that I bring Sadie to. There's a music class with live instruments, with like moms who have a degree in music and stuff like that. So, it's like play groups that are organized in such a nice way. I take her also to swim class.
There was a time I did not leave the house for like 12 days. Because for 12 days, I thought, like, I didn't know what to do with Dea. Like, I just thought she had to be here. And
no outdoor space.
No outdoor space talaga kami. We live in a condo. Yes, there's a park near us, but even to the park, I didn't want to take her. Because I felt she was too fragile. She was actually born, like, super low birth weight. I know it doesn't seem like it now. But she was actually a very tiny baby. And so, we would actually go to the rooftop of our building just to give her sun. And for 12 days, I didn't go out. And then one of my best friends, Mama Cheska, goes, Isadora, step out of the house. Do something for yourself. Like, she had to tell me that. And then I had to just walk around the park. Ako lang. Because it was driving me nuts. Like, when Ben had to do a dinner outside, I was like, why is he having a dinner? For work, for work. I mean, little things like that. Now, when I look back now, it's like, because life had to go on. And those are the decisions I had to make. Kasi, bilib ako sa lalaki, walang guilt. Wala silang mom guilt. They're very practical. And there's a lot to learn from that also. I remember the first time I missed bath time. Inaanak namin ni Ben had to be baptized. We went with them to grab food after. We didn't make it to bedtime, bath time. She fell asleep na, and I was crying so hard in the car. And I said, I'm such a bad mom.
Grabe.
Ganon. As in talagang because I missed bath time. Alam mo yun now, it's like,
Yeah.
girl. Pero kasi, first time, and I wanted to be there. I said this earlier, like, it's a lot of choices you will have to make, a lot of letting go, because it allows for you to live life also. And happy mama, happy baby. It's really good for the wellness of the family. Tsaka magkupit ng kuko. Kasi in the beginning, gusto ko talaga, so sabi ko, ako na. Sabi ko, kaya ko na to. Dumugo! Nasugatan
Sabi
siya.
mo nga,
Sabi ko, ayoko na.
I'll cut Dea's nails. Expert ako dyan.
Sige, oo.
Because I do it for Sadie like 2 or 3 times a week.
Hindi ko talaga alam. Kasi pag sinabi nilang hands-on, hindi ko masabing hands-on ako kasi nga may
You
yaya ko.
are.
Pero,
Yung mental load is also hands-on. You don't have to be physically doing everything, but your brain is on what needs to be done. That's hands-on. Kasi nga, yun nga, there are some moms with help na talagang let go lahat. Walang
kanya-kanya
judgment
talaga.
talaga. We all have our other responsibilities and we have to also learn how to trust other people to take care of our kids.
At yan ay malaking
Tiwala.
bagay.
Oo.
Nung syempre hawak ko si Dea, sabi ko, napakapuro nila, di ba? When they're babies, they're so pure from all my girl in my hands. And I think it is my job to protect my baby. In as much as gusto mong ma-protect siya from every fall, from everything, no life will happen and it is her journey as this human being that will happen. Iyak ako ng iyak. Panginoon, protektahan mo na lang yung anak ko, yun na lang ang dasal ko. Even just routine. So I started just doing like a routine. I've learned again.
Structure.
Structure.
Just
like,
having structure.
Just a little structure is there. Kaya lang kasi what happens also sometimes, if you're not hitting certain things, it can cause anxiety for the mother.
Yeah.
Or the parent, which has happened to us, me. But when I learned to trust that my baby is a human being and
Not a robot.
not a robot.
Why can't they just sleep exactly at this time and wake up exactly at this time?
The more I let go, the more it just became a little easier for the family as well. Even with the yaya, I was still calling the shots. Yung ganun, it's my decision, like what to do with the baby, ganyan. So, actually, ako lang yun naman nasi-stress. Hindi naman siya nasi-stress. Pag hindi ko nakikita...
You cause your own stress.
I cause my own stress and the family's stress.
I think we all cause our own stress.
Diba? So,
we pick and choose the things that can stress us out.
but sa akin yung tasks, delegated siya sa village nga namin, sa mga nanay namin sa bahay. Meron din si Ben, kasi Ben has to do the playtime, ganyan. O, titignan ko, kailan ka free. Yun, ganon. Or if I can't, kasi gusto ko sana talaga merong isang parent na nasa bahay. I actually feel really bad when it's just Dea and the yayas. Not naman to say that the nanays, the yayas are not enough and capable. It's just that I want her to be always see a parent eh. But what's problematic also from like a work from home as reality of Ben is he has a hard time. He feels so bad because Dea sees him. And Day is actually trying to call his attention, but he can't because he's in a meeting. So we also have to think about maybe it's better that she's just with the yaya because the yaya gives her the full attention. She's not trying to call the attention of the yaya. Whereas it's hard na parang daddy's not giving you attention. You know, may mga ganyan eh. So I know mga work from home moms, parents, baka ito'y na this is a reality of yours. So that's something you will have to agree on. Baka it's better nga to even just have that alone time with a yaya. That's quality time to talk.
I think so.
Diba? So these are a lot of things to think about. So,